On February 14th, 2018, 19-year-old Nicholas Cruz committed a mass shooting at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida, hitting close to home. With the use of an AR-15 style semi-automatic rifle, Cruz cut the lives of 17 students and teachers short. Since then, students that attend Marjory Stoneman Douglas and survived the tragic event have created a movement for change by leading protests and marches to express their views on the increasing gun violence and the use of semi-automatic weapons. Opposing organizations continue to argue that the right to bear arms is a right that should not be taken away and that guns are not necessarily the problem. This has once again reignited the debate over the Second Amendment.
This issue of gun safety has become so toxic, where it's one side versus the other side. And
the Founding Fathers, after signing the Constitution, passed the Bill of Rights in order to provide rights to its citizens. Included in that was the freedom of religion, speech, and the right to bear arms, which is the Second Amendment. It was for the citizens to be able to create militias and own weapons in order to protect themselves against the government.
Some people believe that semi-automatic weapons should remain legal as long as the buyer has a clear background check, improving security while maintaining their Second Amendment rights. Even some high school students still believe that semi-automatic weapons should not be banned, indicating that guns are not necessarily the problem, but the people using them are.
Much lower. We saw that in Maryland, that a good guy with a gun stopped the bad guy with the gun. The only way to stop an active shooter on campus is to have another person to eliminate him.
A USA Today poll states that after the Parkland shooting, 39% of people said protecting gun rights is of chief importance, while 58% favors gun control.
Obviously, as a law enforcement officer, I use a gun as part of my duties, but I also think that people by that amendment are able to defend themselves if they need.
What's interesting is that many of these attacks on the Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms are a pretty recent phenomena.
If you own weapons, you have to be responsible and safe. Guard the weapons from people as in the case of children or somebody that may not be stable mentally or have mental issues. There's a lot of ways that you can do that at home. You can keep safes. There's gun locks that are made specifically for the weapons.
Other citizens believe that semi-automatic weapons should be banned to the public and that only military men and women should have access to them. A ban of this nature would decrease the amount of mass shootings and gunshot deaths.
My right as an American ought to be the right to live safely, the right to freedom and the pursuit of happiness, which includes not getting shot. And I've been shot at. I've had someone try to take my life, and that's a violation of the Constitution. I don't think that anti-personnel weapons of any sort belong in the hands of the public. Those are weapons for the military, by and large. And if you look at the countries where they have put significant restrictions on the private ownership of anti-personnel weapons, there are far, far fewer gun deaths. The numbers bear that out.
If people continue to have access to semi-automatic weapons, mass shootings may continue to occur in schools, dance clubs, concerts, churches, and any other place where innocent people gather to have a good time and practice some of the basic rights given to them under the same Constitution.
That's my first reaction, is why are we doing this again? Why are we here again? What's the matter with us as a people that we don't learn? It's not a sign of intelligence.
The Second Amendment debate defines the American experience. While some stand for the right to bear arms, others voice their opposing views and continue to fight for change.
I'm so proud of the students from Parkland and the fact that they have become a political force, that they have used this tragedy for good.
Just don't take a side because it's something that everybody else is doing.
I love the fact that this new generation is starting to politicize their ideals and their values. Every generation brings something new to the table, and that's part of the fabric of our country.
Guns and their assailants do not discriminate. Gun violence is everywhere and affecting the lives of many innocent people of all ages, from the first grade students at Sandy Hook Elementary to a 96-year-old worshiper at the Tree of Life Synagogue. Being an American means having endless possibilities in a country where our rights are protected. But to what end? Should students go to school in fear of when the next mass shooting will take place? Should parents treat every day at drop-off as it may be their last? Should teachers continue to risk their lives for their students?
Parkland shooting really got me because I'm a teacher. I teach at the university, but anybody could walk into my classroom. I'd be the first one they'd shoot. Then they would shoot my students. And there's nothing any of us can do. Now, should I be bringing heavy artillery to my own classroom? No. That's not why I'm there. I'm there to teach students in a safe environment. And as long as people are allowed to obtain weapons and transport them in our society, none of us is safe.
Some even argue to arm teachers.
In situations where the teacher has had prior military training or has been a law enforcement officer and maybe retired and now is a teacher, I think they should go through some type of program that certifies them to carry that weapon.
How many more lives must be lost? Something has to change.
Arming me is not the solution.
I don't want to be another statistic.
I don't want to be next.
Let's make a change.
Enough is enough.
Let's end gun violence.